Okey-dokey.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning. You will be very pleased to know we have guests waiting in the wings this morning. Sorry, anyone who tuned in a bit later yesterday and found us not here. It was the first time in weeks and weeks and weeks. Things didn't quite work out how we'd planned, but we're back. And we have got lots more being planned for this week. So hope you'll join us. Oh,
sorry.
Mark's making noise by making me play off his phone as well.
Yeah.
So
as usual.
Hope everybody's having a nice bank holiday weekend, whatever that may mean in these current times and whatever that means for you. Don't know whether it means any difference in routine. We got up a bit later.
Went to bed a bit later.
Yeah, that's true.
We've been watching the Hunger Games.
Well, I've already seen them.
Well, I haven't actually. I quite recommend it, actually. There you go. That's what I did with my week. Well, that and write a bunch of stuff. We're halfway through a 60-page document. Lucky us. So, this morning's guest then.
Yes, do it.
So, this morning's guest is, drum roll, Toni and Tom. Well, half of... there's Tom. Camera angles are everything, Tom.
Coe-Brooker. The Coe-Brookers meet the Davids.
We're really scraping the barrel here with performers.
You absolutely are not. No, you have very definitely been hiding your light under a bushel, can I say?
Oh,
and had you not done an event the other night for Save Our Venues, we would have had no idea about your performance side of things. I mean, obviously, we know that you work blooming hard for a venue and are currently working really, really hard to basically run Save Our Venues. But tell us about your other life as musicians, because that's what we want to talk about this morning.
I think that's what's interesting about venue owners. I think a lot of people are musicians and you just don't know about it because we invest so much time in programming. But I wouldn't say that I am in a super active band or anything. You know, I do lots of co-writing with bands and I've been in bands in the past. Tom's actually a photographer and a videographer, which is why the live stream was a bit easier for us, I guess.
Well, and that's also why you've always got better headshots than most other venue owners.
Yes.
Although I would comment, I mean, come on, Tom, what's this camera angle looking at now? I mean, you just said you're a videographer.
And you're not even in shot.
We're working with like a laptop right now. So
Tony's got creative control on this one. So,
You didn't spend all morning lining up the multi-camera angles and stuff.
we woke up about half an hour ago. We're not morning people, are we? No. But I was going to say what I think is really important about the campaign is that it's not just about breakthrough bands. It's very much about the people that perform once or twice a year, you know, and get so much out of it. I played for the first time at Green Door in December, and the magic of being on stage isn't lost on me just because I work behind the scenes. It was still very much a scary and exciting experience. So, yeah, it's not just about the breakthrough bands.
Well, I'll tell you, it doesn't go away unless I'll get all sort of wise and fatherly for 10 seconds. I took a break from performing for 20 years. I don't know, maybe 20 years, something like that. I was in bands, and then when Forum started up, I stopped performing. And when Bowie died, we decided that we put an event together, and I said, okay, well, actually, for that, everybody just sings one song. I decided, I'll go down and sing one song. So me and a guy called Matt Lucas put this event together. And the first year I sang a song and I thought, oh yeah, that was it. That was what I was missing.
Yeah,
right?
Definitely.
Yeah, and now it happens every year in January. And a lot of people who come on here are people I know through that, including Alex, that was the keyboard player on Saturday. Yeah. And he was, you know, they're such talented musicians. But even more than that, I'll tell you something. I've played bass guitar for years, and I very rarely touch it anymore because it's not the kind of instrument you play when you're on your own.
Yeah.
Like, oh, here's my bass solo. It's a bit of a weird thing to do. But I did go down and play bass on 4 or 5 songs like 2 or 3 years ago, and in particular in Where Are We Now that I played on. I played a 5-string bass, and there was a moment at the end of the song where you got that lift. Do you know what I mean? Where the band is perfect and the audience is going mad, and you can't beat it. You can't replicate it. I don't think it's replicable. If anybody's not been in a band who's watching this, I highly recommend just doing that. Just you can feel it once.
You get that euphoric high, don't you? Actually, I've been feeling quite blue since we did our broadcast, because you get this massive euphoric high and then this crashing low at the end. So hopefully I'm going to get a bit of euphoria from doing this morning.
I don't think we were in a car once on the way to an MVT event. It was when we were doing regional national meetings a couple of years ago. And I think we worked out I'm about the only person involved in MVT that's never been in a band.
I think we should fix it.
Isn't it, Bev? Hand her a guitar.
I'm the organizer. I was always the narrator in the school play. I've always been the person that sort of corrals things, never really the person that, I played the cello in an orchestra for a while, but I've never been sort of front and center. And I think that's...
I'd love to play cello. I'd love to play cello.
Well, I can't play it anymore. I've still got the beautiful instrument, but I think, I was never that great at it anyway, but I did enjoy being part of the collective. But no, I've never been in a band.
That's it then.
Oh, no.
It's really not.
Reopening mission. Get Bev on stage.
No.
Yeah, there's market for spoken word stuff, If you used to narrate, that's the same thing, right? Could be cool.
Yeah, well, obviously I've got no problems with public speaking of any time. I'm just always done that.
You're like a punk screamer or something. You should be at the front of the band.
These are all really good ideas. Oh, Chris Sherrington says he's only ever been a backing dancer at the best.
Oh, I now have visions of Chris doing that. But I have to say, we do know in the venue community, obviously we've had Hannah and Kieran from the Sound Lounge on to perform, and that was lovely. And we do know, didn't Jake Shillingford persuade Mel to rejoin My Life Story quite recently when they performed at Trades?
At Trades.
Which was really, really fantastic, because I didn't know for ages that Mel used to be in My Life Story.
And Jason at Tunbridge Wells still performs in Joey Fat and Joey Thin. You can't stop him, no matter how much you ask.
Well, no, I'm sure it's true. There are an awful lot of either musicians or managers, or obviously the point is everybody comes to this from some route, I guess. And it's interesting how many still perform, even if it's on occasion.
Nathan the Broodnall?
Yeah.
I don't think Nath plays. I think because he
was a footballer.
He was a footballer, I think.
That's an interesting career change.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't think he plays. Do you know what? I'm trying to think of who. Anybody I don't know who doesn't play is a DJ.
Yeah. No, a lot of DJs. A lot of really great DJs, actually. But...
Yeah, Chris says it was an amazing night watching Mal Campbell back on stage that night when he played at the Trades. So, yeah. Right. Well, listen. Just to prove that we were our point about there's no dipping quality, would you like to perform a first song for us?
Sure. Okay. My palms are sweating. Okay.
Oh, come on, Toni. You don't need to be nervous. You're just in your living room, remember?
Yeah, but I'm performing to 500 venue owners.
No pressure.
No pressure.
Okay.
We'll drop out and give you full screen.
Yes. So this is a cover of Phoebe Bridgers' Killer. Ready?
Always ready.
Oh, God. Sometimes I think I'm a killer, even scared you in your house. I even scared myself by talking about Dharma on your couch. But I can't sleep next to a body, even harmless in death. Plus I'm pretty sure I'd miss you, faking sleep to count your breath. Can the killer in me claim the fire in you? Is there nothing left to do for us? I am sick of the chase, but I'm I'm hungry for blood, and there's nothing I can do.
When I'm sick and tired and my mind is barely there, the machine keeps me alive and I'm losing all my hair. I hope you kiss my rotten head and pull the plug. Know that I've burned every playlist, I've given all my love. Can the killer in me paint the fire in you? Is there nothing left to do for us? I am sick of the chase, but I'm stupid in love, and there's nothing I can do. And there's nothing I can do. Ooh, I had like shaky hands in that.
That was absolutely lovely. Thank you.
Oh, I felt like a kid on stage then.
Oh no, does that make us your parents, Toni? Right, Gareth Barber says Toni's live stream the other night was immense.
Oh, that's nice that you watched it. Thank you.
And Mark Stack says, agreed, Gareth, totally stunning.
Oh,
Gorgeous voices sounding amazing together, says Charlie South. Mark Stack then posted about 400 applause emojis. Hannah White, who's been on a couple. Have you seen Hannah performing? Hannah's been fantastic. We're on her own and with Kieran. She says so lovely.
Oh, and Dave Whittle at Suckerton C says, my eyes have leaped. What have you done to me?
I think me and Dave have become pals over the last few weeks. We've been chatting so much online about his events.
Well, I think that's a really interesting one, isn't it? Because a lot of people knew you anyway. And I mean, you were on the opening panel at Venues Day last year. So you're identifiable within our venue community anyway. But obviously then you've taken on all these extra responsibilities and are chatting even more with lots and lots of the venues out there. So I think most people will know who you are. So it's nice to see another side of you as well.
I think people really only know who I am through MVT, to be honest. So it's really brought the community together in a way like no other before. And it's really nice to be a part of it.
Yeah, I think it's been. I think we always knew we were a close community. Do you know what I mean? I think we always knew that, but I think this is really. It's been something else, hasn't it?
Well, it's taken, I think, what is naturally quite a competitive industry for lots of small music venues and turned it into friendship.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's amazing. The people that I've met, even just in the last few weeks, I'm so in awe of all of them. Incredible people.
And the way that everybody's supporting each other is just amazing. That's just been amazing, you know.
Can I also give a shout out for people like Tom that are there supporting the team? Because our team has grown from a really tiny core team to this massive sprawling team who are all being asked to do way more than they're being paid for, let's face it. And I'm actually going to shout out for their partners and families at the moment for putting up with us, corralling so much time out of such a team of people. So thank you, Tom.
Endless
Welcome.
cups of tea and coffee.
Yeah, ready in the wings with quick edits and tea delivery.
Yeah.
Oh, no, exactly, because it does pull your families in, doesn't it? I mean, you know, these sorts of experiences do need more support. They're not about individuals in any way. They're about all the circles of people working together, whether it's the ones in the venues or those people around them.
So there seems to be a lot of people with the surname Coe commenting on this thread.
Sorry about that.
Coe says very proudly both beautiful harmonies, and Toni Coe says beautiful, but I might be slightly biased.
So that's my dad and my stepmom. Me and my dad have the same name, so he's like Senior Tone and I'm Baby Tone.
All right.
Excellent. Well, do you have
go on.
another song for us, Toni and Tom?
Yeah, so I'm going to do an original one for you. I'm much more inclined to the sort of metal, hardcore end of the music spectrum. So that's why we did that cover first. This next song actually is a co-write that I did with a band called Brutality Will Prevail, who are a hardcore band. So if you go and listen to the original, you might be a little bit surprised at how much heavier it is. It might be fun for you to go and check it out.
I did have a brilliant conversation with somebody who went, well, Toni lives in Brighton. Maybe she knows this band. And I went, no, they're a bit too soft for Toni's taste. I'm probably not friends with them.
Yeah, I do like soft music, but I'm definitely, I like a mosh pit. That's what I'm going to say.
Right, well, we'll leave you to it.
Cool. This one's called Breathless. Burn down to the weak, so heavy I can't breathe. Never comprehend the feeling inside that sick, blurry eye can see in front of me, in front of me. A voice deep inside is telling me to give up. Even me breathless can ever forget, can leave behind so vacant. Leaving me breathless can never forget, can leave behind so vacant. Judgment impaired, staring into space, wide awake, dawn never felt so dark, so dark. Blurry eye can see in front of me, in front of me. The voice deep inside is telling me to give up. Leaving me breathless, can ever forget, can leave behind so vacant. Leaving me breathless, can ever forget, can leave behind so vacant. Drum breakdown.
Incessant guest harmonies from our dog throughout that. So
Well, I have
saying.
2 comments. 1, Toni, your voice is beautiful. And 2, do you think you should bring into shot and introduce the other member of the household who contributed?
I think that we had like the post delivery. I don't know if you can see her. Hello. He's a good girl. So it's our little Romanian rescue. We've had her for about a year and a half now, and she's just the biggest sop, but she does like to be with us all the time and bark all the time.
Do you know what?
So you know how it feels.
But a friend of mine said yesterday that she'd done a training course about how to prepare for separation anxiety from your pet when she has to go back to work.
Yeah.
Because obviously so many people are spending so much more time with their pets than they normally would.
Yeah, well, that's the thing. We've got to a point where she was good for being left for quite a long time. She's quite a sleepy dog. It's just part of her breed. She's a Romanian Shepherd. Stop it! That's gross. Now I don't think that she's going to be happy being left alone for that long, because we've had her too much.
Toni, where can we actually find your music? Where can people listen to it?
So you can find that song if you go on Spotify and you look up Brutality Will Prevail. They're actually a really well-known hardcore band. They've been around a long time. And my song Breathless is on there. I actually don't really have a lot else to share with you right now. My plan was to make an EP during lockdown, and then I joined a cause.
And then
Yes, you did.
And then two awful people suggested that you should just basically work all the time.
I was like breaking it all down, like how I was going to do it, and then I got the call from Mark going, "So yeah, could you come and join this thing with us?" And I was like, yeah, I could definitely do a few hours a week, and now it's just it's my whole life in a good way. But yeah,
thank you for adding a good way there. I know we are asking a lot.
It's definitely a choice, and I'm so happy to be involved. And if I do bring out some music, I'll have a lot more friends through doing this. So
I think you're acquiring some fans as well, mate. You need to do more streams, honestly.
We'll try, won't we, Tom?
Yeah, well, we're going to start writing soon, hopefully. Now that we're in the full swing of things, I think.
Well, I have to say the harmonies were lovely.
Thank you.
Thank you.
More of that would be great.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all juggling, isn't
Tony's already working out how to turn everything into an extremely heavy hardcore song.
Yeah. Tom used to be in a pretty well-known metal band.
Which one? Which one?
Well, we never came by your way, actually, but I'm surprised that we didn't. We were called Ruins of Earth, and this was going back 12 years or something, but we did the circuit quite a lot.
But not Tunbridge Wells Forum. What's wrong with us?
I don't know. I feel like we were supposed to play there once at some kind of all-dayer type thing, but I don't think it materialised for one reason or another. I've never been to the forum, so I think I need to change that.
Good grief!
I know, right? I've heard all about it over the years, extensively, but even photographing it, I've not travelled there yet. So I've got to check.
No, you got to come, Tom.
I tell you a brilliant forum-related story. So our daughters obviously didn't grow up in Tunbridge Wells because I've only ever lived there for 2 years, and that was a really long time ago. But Mark still co-owns the forum with Jay. And when Grace went to university last September in Amsterdam, she's in halls with a load of people, and it turns out that one of the people she's in halls with is a guy who comes from Tunbridge Wells.
Oh wow!
Who just cannot get his head round the idea that Grace's dad owns the forum.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty rad, isn't it?
Cool points there.
Right. These protocols won't write themselves.
I thought I was having a day off, but apparently not, because he's written something and I've got to proofread it.
Yeah. So somebody said this morning it's Bank Holiday Monday. I said, what difference does that make? I mean, literally makes no difference at all, does it? Right. Yeah. Back to work then. Thank you very much, both of you. It was absolutely beautiful.
No, thank you for having us on.
No, thank you for coming on.
And remember the pep talks I keep giving you as your line manager. More confidence.
Yes, Beth.
I'm not a line manager for our music, obviously.
No, that's true.
To save our venues. It was fantastic. Thank you. We really enjoyed having you on as guests and really want to hear more music from you. So do let us all know.
We will do. Thank you. Have a nice day. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Well, that was fantastic.
That was great.
And I must have said this 20 or 30 times during this, but there's just so much talent out there that you don't know about.
Well, this has been a really nice opportunity to see old friends that we do already know what they do, and then to see some performances from people that we don't know their music so well.
Yeah.
And it's been actually a really nice mix.
And there are some where you go, this is, you know, every I must have said this 20 or 30 times during this, but there are some where you go, this isn't, like some live streams you watch, you go, it's not really working, hasn't got the same thing. There are some people who've really thrived in this virtual lockdown atmosphere.
Yeah, but it does depend on the setup, doesn't it? I mean, I know musicians who are not the front person who feel really frustrated that it's really hard for them to communicate what they do.
Yeah.
So obviously it favours the singers.
It does, but there's a lot of great singers out there.
There are a lot of great singers
out there.
Yeah.
Right, we better get on.
Onwards.
Lovely to see you all. Have a great Bank Holiday Monday if you're enjoying that, and
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.